since I was a little girl, there was one story I couldn't shake. Not pirates, not buried treasure, not even the monsters hiding in the dark corners of old maps. It was Atlantis, a city so advanced, so powerful, so beautiful, that it was said to have vanished beneath the ocean in a single catastrophic moment, gone without a trace. No ruins, no survivors, no confirmed location. Just a story passed down through time like a warning written in water. And today, we're going to ask the question that has haunted explorers, philosophers, and dreamers for over 2,000 years. Was Atlantis real? Or is it the greatest myth humanity ever refused to let go of? Welcome to Nightly Haven. I'm your host, Nikki, and tonight we're going beneath the waves. Fear tingles down your spine and hairs stand on end. Mysteries unknown and tales in the dark. Are you ready? Hello? The story of Atlantis begins not with divers or submarines, but with a philosopher. His name was Plato. Born in ancient Greece around 428 BC, Plato wasn't a sailor or an explorer or someone claiming to discover lost cities. He was a thinker. And in two of his works, Timaeus and Critias, he describes something that would echo through the history like a ripple in deep water. A powerful island civilization beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which many believe refer to the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, Atlantis was vast and wealthy, covered in gold, silver, and precious metals, designed in perfect concentric rings of land and water, ruled by kings descended from the god Poseidon. At its height, Atlantis wasn't just advanced, it was dominant. But Plato also describes something darker. As the Atlanteans grew powerful, they became corrupt. They turned greedy, proud, violent. And in response, according to the story, Atlantis was punished. In a single day and night of misfortune, the island sank beneath the sea, never to be seen again. But here's where things get strange. Plato never claimed this was a first-hand history. He never said, "I found this." Instead, he presented it as a story passed down from older Egyptian sources, which leaves us with a problem that still exists today. Was he recording an ancient memory or teaching a moral lesson using a fictional civilization? Many historians believe Atlantis was never meant to be found. They argue Plato created it as an allegory, a warning, a mirror, a way to say, even the greatest civilizations can fall when pride takes control. And honestly, that interpretation makes sense, because Plato wasn't just telling stories, he was warning Greece itself. Athens had been through war, political instability, and moral questioning. Atlantis, in this view, was a perfect enemy, a fictional empire designed to show what happens when power grows without restraint. And here's where the mystery refuses to die, because even if Plato meant this as fiction, he described Atlantis with such precision that people have spent centuries trying to match it to real places. And that's where the legend stops being just a story and starts becoming a global obsession. If Atlantis was real, what could destroy an entire civilization in a single day? There are only a few possibilities powerful enough, and all of them exist in Earth's violent history. Volcanic collapse. One of the strongest candidates is the eruption of Santorini, ancient Thera. Around 1600 BC, a massive volcanic explosion tore through the Aegean seas. It collapsed the center of an island into the ocean. It triggered tsunamis. It buried entire settlements under ash. And it wiped out Minoan civilization, one of the most advanced cultures of its time. To some researchers, it looks a lot like Atlantis, a sudden disappearance, a powerful civilization, a catastrophic collapse, but there's a problem. Santorini doesn't perfectly match Plato's timeline or his geography, so the question remains, was this Atlantis, or was this just a fallen world that echoes Atlantis? Another theory is quieter, but just as haunting. After the last ice age, sea levels rose dramatically. Entire coastlines disappeared. There was once a landmass called Doggerland connecting Britain to mainland Europe. Now it sits beneath the North Sea. A lost world swallowed by water. No myth required, just time and melting ice. So when people ask, could Atlantis have existed? Science answers, yes, lost civilizations beneath water absolutely exist. But none have been confirmed as Atlantis. Not yet. Over the centuries, Atlantis has been placed almost everywhere you can imagine. The Mediterranean, the Caribbean, Antarctica, Spain, the Azores, even beneath the Sahara Desert. One of the most talked about modern theories is the structure in Mauritania. From space, it looks like a perfect circular formation, almost too perfect. Someone call it the Eye of the Sahara, and for a brief moment, it sparked global headlines. Atlantis has been found. But geological evidence tells a different story. The structure formed naturally over millions of years. No ruins, no civilization, no lost empire, just Earth doing what Earth does. Still, the idea persists because Atlantis isn't just a place anymore, it's a pattern. And every time we find something unusual in the ocean, we wonder again. Here's the truth that keeps Atlantis alive. We have mapped less of the ocean floor than we have of Mars. Let that sink in. We can see distant galaxies, but much of our own planet, deep ocean, remains unexplored. So when people ask if Atlantis exists, why haven't we found it? The honest answer is, we haven't looked everywhere. But here's the second truth. Even when we do explore underwater ruins, we rarely find anything that matches Atlantis exactly. What we find instead are fragments, pieces, hints. And that's what keeps the story alive, because Atlantis doesn't behave like a confirmed place. It behaves like a question. Maybe Atlantis was never meant to be found. Maybe it was never a city at all. Maybe it was an idea, a warning dressed as history. A reminder that even the most powerful civilizations are not permanent. Or maybe it was real, a civilization so advanced that its ruins are still waiting, quietly, beneath layers of sand, salt, and time. We don't know. And that's the unsettling part, because Atlantis sits in that rare space between myth and possibility. Not proven, not disproven, just waiting. Somewhere beneath the waves, there could be ruins, or nothing at all. But Atlantis survives either way, because it lives in a part of us that refuses to believe great things can simply disappear without a trace. It lives in curiosity, and obsession, and wonder, and maybe that's why we keep searching, not because we expect to find a city, but because we can't stop asking what it would mean if we did. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember the ocean keeps its secrets. Welcome to Nightly Haven. Subscribe, like, and share if this is your thing, and have a spooky night. Bye.